Hello, it's Ruby, and this is the second day of my daily partial vlogmas. Today I'm going up to London, which is very exciting. I'm wearing this lovely green dress, which I've worn so many times, but I'm going up to the theatre to see Ballet Shoes this evening, and so I wanted to wear a nice dress. But first, and more excitingly, and the reason I'm going up to London, is to meet my literary agent. I'm so excited, and I will bring you along, and it would also be lovely to be in London in December. Of course, the caveat there, though, is I'm glad I'm going to London in December when it's not a weekend, because weekends in London are horribly busy. These are for my mum for Christmas. My agent's offices are on Regent Street, so I headed straight there and it was looking so beautiful. I did have a little bit of time, so of course I accidentally went into the Piccadilly Waterstones, which is actually the largest bookshop in Europe. This is me getting slightly stressed about the meeting, even though I really had no reason to be nervous. As I say, my agent is lovely, and it was so lovely to catch up and to get her feedback on the book. It just made me so excited. Okay, it's 12:45 and I've just booked tickets to go and see Ballet Shoes at 1:30. Very, very spontaneously. I'm just walking now. It was also so lovely to see my agent. She's so lovely, genuinely. I cannot tell you how lovely, and she somehow has already read the book as well. So I just got her thoughts and her feedback, and I'm just feeling really excited about this redraft. Now, I say I just booked tickets, and that's because I wasn't sure if I was going to go to the matinee performance or the evening performance. It depended on what time the meeting ended. So I literally booked these tickets 45 minutes before the show started. Obviously, it's only really half spontaneous, but it still did feel quite exciting, heading straight to the theatre having just booked them. I am going to have to be quite quick. The show starts in literally half an hour. The show is at the National Theatre, which is on the Thames, and so the walk there was just incredible from Charing Cross. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, I genuinely can't even say. That moment before a show starts, the anticipation bubbling through the audience, I think is similar to that on Christmas Eve. There's the same sense of magic because you have no idea what's about to come. You have no idea what you're about to see. And the stage, as you can see, it was just beautiful, like covered in fossils and layers of balconies and books and paintings. So obviously I was at the theatre today by myself, and I was sat next to this lovely older woman who asked me like, oh, your friend's running late. Are they nearly here? Because there was an empty seat beside me. Oh my gosh, this is one of the best shows I've ever seen. And I said, oh no, I've come by myself. And she was really surprised. I think it's funny how we treat solo activities as unusual. She didn't say this in a mean way or anything, but just was struck by the fact it was unusual. But there really is something so liberating about doing something like this by yourself. And so this is your call to take yourself on a solo date if you want to. I successfully purchased a book. It was that very charming children's book. And then I sat down upstairs with the intention of showing what was in my bag, because people have been asking me if I'll show what's in my bag when I'm out. But the audio was really, really loud, which is why I'm doing a voiceover. So of course here I've got my beret, and then I've got my Paper Republic in this little pouch. And in here was my writing notebook, which of course was very useful for my meeting this morning. And then I've got my iPad, I've got the book I'm reading, Daniel Handler's autobiography. This is actually the best book I've read in 2025. Amazing that I'm reading it this late in the year. I've got my antique opera glasses, which I always bring when I go to the theatre. These are from France in the 1890s, I believe. They're not like the most useful things, honestly. I'm quite close, so I don't really need them. I always bring my neck ring to keep me cool. I'm temperature regulated when I go to London. I've got my glasses and a few other bits, but I actually do need to go.
Please return to your seats in the NBA Theatre. Service performance of Ballet Shoes will continue in 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, let's go. But yes, it's absolutely amazing. I will give a full review later. And it's got Sally from Mallory Towers in it, which I didn't realise, and then when she came on stage I was like, wait, I recognise her, and I realised who it was. Obviously the National Theatre is right on the Thames. That was extraordinary. Do you know what? I'm so in the mood to go on the London Eye right now, and I don't know how long the queue is going to be, but I might go and look. And within 10 minutes of making that decision, I was flying up in the air over London. I've wanted to go up in the London Eye at twilight for years and years. I want to say like 6 or 7 years, and I've always put it off and always thought I need to wait for the right moment. I need to wait for the perfect moment. But I was walking past the London Eye at the perfect time of day, and I realised, what does the perfect moment look like? Like we hold off on doing these things that we want to do because we're waiting for that perfect time. But could we even articulate to ourselves when it will be perfect? This did feel perfect. I sat and wrote some of my Agatha Armitage letters whilst I was going round. Befriended this very lovely family while I was up there as well, and we were chatting for ages afterwards, and we just watched the night fall over London, everything glowing, Christmas lights in the distance. It was magical.
Oh, I'm glad you like it.
This is so cool. I've seen these in Edinburgh. Sorry, I'm holding a miso pot, which is definitely going to spill if I show you properly. But it's like, you can print, you kind of go on the front page when you take that. I'm going to use it in my journal today. After visiting the Covent Garden Christmas market, I went back to Piccadilly and I went to Hatchard's, which is my favourite bookshop in London. This is also the oldest bookshop in England, and this here is the book that I was looking for, The Flowers of Evil by Charles Baudelaire. But of course I got tempted by other books while I was there, and I had to have a proper browse. And also, just because it was there, I went back into that same huge Waterstones that I'd been in earlier, and I also went to Fortnum and Mason, specifically to the Sweet Counter, which I love to visit in December because it makes me feel so unbelievably festive. It reminds me a lot of the elaborate descriptions of the Marzipan Palace in The Nutcracker and the Sweet Kingdom, and just seeing all of these elaborate, beautifully made pieces of confectionery. I feel like it's a wonderful sight for Christmas. I'm back now, and I'm so glad that I went to the matinee performance instead of the evening performance. I'm someone who gets very tired in the evenings, and I don't like being out in the evenings, but I always tend to book evening performances, and then I never enjoy the second act as much because I'm so tired. Whereas this way, I love the whole show. I thought I would quickly show you what I bought in London. I went to 3 different bookshops. From Hatchards, I got Leonard and Hungry Paul by Ronan Hessian. This really isn't the kind of book I would usually pick up, and it's Leonard and Hungry Paul are 2 quiet friends who see the world differently. They use humour, board games and silence to steer their way through the maelstrom that is the 21st century. And this isn't usually the kind of book I would go for just based on the plot, but a friend recommended it to me, and I read the first few pages when I was with her. The writing is so astute and very clever and witty. Leonard was raised by his mother alone with cheerfully concealed difficulty, his father having died tragically during childbirth. Though she was not by nature the soldiering type, she taught him to look at life as a daisy chain of small events, each of which could be made manageable in its own way. She was a person for whom kindness was a very ordinary thing, who believed that the only acceptable excuse for not having a bird feeder in the back garden was that you had one in the front garden. I just love the writing of it. It's so precise, but also, as I say, witty. So I bought that one from Hatchards. Then I was going to buy this one from Hatchards too, but I went to Waterstones because the copy was slightly damaged on the spine, but at Hatches, they very kindly told me, they very kindly checked the Waterstones stock down the road. So I went into Waterstones to get this. This is The Flowers of Evil by Charles Baudelaire, and it's the translation by Aaron Puchigan. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that right. I'm reading Daniel Handler's autobiography at the moment, and he mentions this anthology so many times that I really want to read it. And at the back of this, there... Don't judge that I've jumped ahead and like looked at this already. I was looking at the notes. But he's got all of these book recommendations, and as you can see, I've starred it. These are the translations he recommends of Charles Baudelaire. I saw that on the train and then decided I wanted to pick this up today. This is a really lovely edition as well. Very different from other books on my shelf. It's a weird size. You see, like ordinary paperback. It's more like an American size. It's very, again, American. It's very floppy. It's also got an afterword by Daniel Handler, which is one of the reasons that I wanted this specific one. But I'm really excited for this. Oh my gosh, sorry, I did not realise this. I just opened it randomly. Where is it? On a poem called Beatrice. The Beatrice, which must be the inspiration for Lemony Snicket's Beatrice. Wow, how did I not realise that? It starts, "One day while I was walking, whining, in a landscape made of ash, a dead terrain, and while my heart was sharpening my grief slowly, just as the whetstone hones the knife, I saw at noon descend around my head a mass of melancholy, thundercloud, in which a troop of demons had the look of vicious dwarves. Such was the form they took. They eyed me with a great deal of disdain, and like bystanders near a crazy man, seemed to share jokes and murmurs, seemed to nod and wink at each other as they said, 'Come, let us contemplate this travesty. This man, like Hamlet's spectre in a play.' I'm so looking forward to reading this. I've read literally probably 2 or 3 poems by Baudelaire, and I've also read his journals, which I did really like. I'm so excited to properly dive into this. And I haven't really been excited about books recently. I've been struggling to find books that have been really excited me, which is why I was keen to actually buy these, but because I haven't been excited by specific books and because I haven't been craving reading and like really wanting to read specific stories, I haven't been reading as much. I did get another book. This was in the National Theatre bookshop. It got slightly scuffed in my bag, which is sad. It's The Knotted Island by Catherine Child, and this is a middle grade book. I read the first page. I love the illustrations, and I love the kind of multi-format of it. There are kind of news pages and things like right at the front. It's a map, which we always love. And then I love this little news page. And I just read the very start of this, and I loved it. Like, it's so funny, it's so bizarre, because I'm writing these absurd letters at the moment. It really piqued my fancy. It starts, "For a month after Umbertiska," is that her name? Umbertiska Lump. That's her name. That's such a good name. "For a month after Umbertiska Lump learned about owls, she knew what she wanted to be. She roosted every morning in the pines, hooting softly while her parents chivied her down for school or breakfast. She could turn her head most of the way round, and she was good at pouncing, though she opted for gingerbread mice. But as time wore on, the drawbacks of a career as an owl became more apparent." Isn't that just brilliant? It's so clever. So, very chuffed. And then the only thing I got that wasn't a book is this, which got really crumpled, unfortunately. It's printed on brown paper, and it's such a cheesy little memento, but they had them at the Covent Garden Christmas market, and that's me on the front page of Old Press London. Very impressive, I know. But they basically take a photo of you on this old-timey camera, this old-time looking camera, and they print it instantly as these little news sheets, and it's pay whatever you want, so you could decide how much you pay. I think I paid £4. I don't know if that's too much or too little. I think it's really difficult, things like that. I don't really like things that are pay what you think, because I never know what is like the right amount to pay and what. But anyway, I'm going to use this in my journal. There was no practical purpose, but I thought it was fun. I almost forgot, I also bought these from Waterstones. They're Brambley Hedge Christmas cards. These are so cute. I usually use one ready-made printed pack, and then I hand make the majority of my cards. Anyway, I'm going to have a shower because I hate that feeling when you get back from London. And like you feel all, like I always feel so dirty after getting back from London, and so I'm going to have a shower It's already 9 o'clock, but I think I might write a few Christmas cards because I'm wary of getting my international cards out soon, otherwise they won't arrive. Okay, I'll see you soon. It's the next day and I wanted to give you a review of the National Theatre production because, as I say, it really was incredible. I think it may be the best play I've ever seen. And that's coming from somebody who really does love stage plays, who likes musicals. Like, I've been lucky enough to go to the theatre quite a lot in my life, and I think after Matilda the Musical, this is the best thing I've ever seen on stage, and it's definitely the best play I've seen. But it's a limited time performance, so it's only running from November to February. So if you can book tickets before February, then do. I'm already thinking I might book to go again because it was just that good, and the idea of never getting to see it again makes me very sad. If you never read Ballet Shoes as a child, it's a little bit similar to Little Women, I think, in terms of like the dynamic between sisters. So it's the three fossil sisters, Petrova, Pauline and Posy, and they're not like kind of biologically sisters, but they were each adopted by their great uncle. And the backstory of how these three become sisters is like just brilliant in its own right. So you've got Sylvie, who is adopted by her great uncle, and her great uncle is this explorer, archaeologist, so he goes off and he keeps on bringing back these babies to the house, and then he sets off on another expedition, and when the book and the play takes place, he has been gone for 10 years, so he's been nowhere to be seen, and these three babies have grown up, and even though they're not biologically related, they are sisters and they are so close, and they're also different, and I just thought the casting of the three sisters was perfectly done in the play, because they have to have that sisterly dynamic. You have to believe that they like love each other very much while also being so annoyed by each other and constantly fighting, and I think that's difficult to do. I just think the dynamic between the actors, the relationship between the actors was so perfect, and they really did feel like sisters, and as a result of that it was so moving, because you can see how much they care about each other, and it meant that I cried like multiple times. I was on the brink of crying basically the whole time, and the people in front of me were crying too. Like, everyone was just wiping away these tears because it's so beautifully moving. It's not sad, it's just filled with such like life and so much love, and it makes you excited to live. It's one of those shows, and those are always the best shows. It's also just visually beautiful. Like, the stage is beautiful, like the setting. Gum, the great uncle Matthew, is like very interested in fossils, and so there are all of these fossils up around like the sides of the staircase. Visually it's beautiful too. There's this moment where Petrova gets to fly on stage, and these wings like come out from her, and it's just beautiful. Like, she's like flying across the stage. Quite a few moments with projectors being used. There's this wonderful moment where you see like Madame's reflection in the mirror. In many ways it was like, aside from being this really beautifully crafted narrative and story, it felt like a mask at moments, which is a type of early modern theatre which is very based on spectacle and beauty and wonder, and just inspiring that sense of wonder in the audience. And there were moments in this production which really felt like that. Quite a few instances where it would break into another art form, like ballet for example, and there'd be this beautiful kind of extended performance for a piece of ballet, and obviously it fits into the plot, but it's not necessary for the plot to linger that long, but because we do linger, it really puts like, yeah, spectacle and wonder at the forefront of, I think, why this play is so powerful. But yeah, it's beautiful, it's magical, it fills you with a sense of magic and wonder. I was on a high from it, I'm still on a high from it. As I say, I want to go and see it again. The music is also great. It's set in the 1930s, and the main song which keeps on playing is Sing 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 by, let me just check because I obviously downloaded it straight after and was just listening to it as I was walking through London. It's by Benny Goodman, and like, oh, it's so good. I'm not someone who likes dancing, but it made me just want to dance, and it made me, as I say, excited to be alive, and what a wonderful feeling to walk away with. Just final points, but it's funny. It's very, very funny, like absolutely hilarious. Gum, like the great uncle, is just fantastic. And it's also got Sienna Arif-Knighton. She played Sally in Mallory Towers. I had no idea, and then right at the beginning I saw her and I was like, wait, that looks like Sally, and then just slowly realised, yes, that is Sally, that is Sienna. She was brilliant. I think Petrova was my favourite character, and she really brought a whimsy to Petrova. So all of the sisters have different interests. Pauline loves acting, Posey loves ballet, and Petrova loves planes, and she loves engines. And Petrova was never my favourite. I loved her in the stage play, and I really love how Sienna brought that whimsy to the character. But also, she's very funny. She played a very... I like how, like, Petrova was quite scatty, and yeah, I just really liked her as a character. But yes, that is my review. I'm sorry, I don't usually review stage plays, I don't think, but it really was wonderful, and it would be a shame if you love this book, or if you love books like Little Women, or even Little Women, or like The Secret Garden, or just like children's classics, and those themes of kindness and community and sisterhood, which can be so central to stories like that. It's just a show that you should go and see. Like, I am so pleased that I went. There wasn't a single moment in the whole of the play where I was even slightly bored. I was hooked the whole time. Every second was something to be relished and visually enjoyed, and that's common in theatre, yes, but I don't know if I've ever relished something quite so much as this, and so if you can, please do go and see it. I don't think you'd regret it. But anyway, I'm going to sign off here. I will see you tomorrow for another Vlogmas video. I still can't believe that I'm doing this, and as I say, half-hearted Vlogmas, not real Vlogmas, but still, thank you for watching, and I hope that you have more than just a productive week.